In the middle of a remote region covered in eternal ice, an Arctic storm swept across frozen mountains in massive. Amid that endless white wilderness, a black military helicopter struggled to cut through the storm. Seated near the side door was an American war journalist wearing a United States military uniform, a combat helmet, and a beige press vest. The helicopter finally slammed down onto the ice. The rotor blades kicked up a massive cloud of snow. The side door was opened immediately. The American soldiers quickly began stepping out while the journalist filmed everything. Outside, the environment felt completely cut off from the rest of the world. There were no trees, there were no animals, only ice, wind, and silence. While filming the top of the glacier through the camera lens, the journalist noticed small movements between the snow-covered rocks.
Man,
the camera tried to focus.
It's freezing out here. My eyes are starting to freeze.
Everything looked like nothing more than shadows. But then the focus finally locked in.
It's so damn cold, my eyes are freezing.
Every step they took became another challenge against the frozen wilderness. The soldiers moved slowly across the glacier, their boots sinking deep into the snow.
Come on, man.
Military
we need to reach our
flashlights
checkpoint.
cut through the blizzard, while the journalist walked closely behind them, filming every detail. The sound of boots crushing ice echoed across the frozen mountain. And they kept moving deeper across the glacier. Then, something changed. While filming the top of the glacier through the camera lens, the journalist noticed small movements between the snow-covered rocks. The camera tried to focus. For a few seconds, everything looked like nothing but shadows. But then the focus finally locked in. Armed men were hidden between the ice formations, rebels. Wearing green and beige uniforms designed for extreme cold conditions, they were heavily armed. The journalist immediately warned the soldiers were being
Spread
ambushed.
out, men! Stay alert!
The American soldiers did not fear the presence of the rebels. Then the shooting began. Gunfire echoed across the glacier as muzzle flashes lit up the dark snowstorm. The journalist kept filming everything. The camera shook violently. The rebels appeared and disappeared through the blizzard like ghosts. The American soldiers returned fire while trying to hold their position. The journalist kept filming everything. Gunfire continued erupting from every direction. But the greatest danger was no longer just the firefight. The ice itself was beginning to collapse. Massive cracks started forming beneath the snow. The deep sound of breaking ice echoed below the surface. The soldiers slowly began retreating while the journalist filmed the fissures spreading across the glacier. Then, the storm grew dramatically worse. The wind intensified. The snowfall became heavier. Visibility dropped almost completely. The rebels could now only be seen as distant silhouettes moving through the blizzard. The military radios began to fail. Static, interference, silence.
There's something coming toward us.
The journalist kept filming while, in the middle of the confrontation, a support helicopter attempted to land on the glacier, but it was suddenly attacked by the rebels. The rebels appeared and disappeared through the blizzard like ghosts. The American soldiers returned fire while trying to hold their position, but the greatest danger was no longer just the combat. The ice itself was beginning to give way. The soldiers slowly began retreating while the journalist filmed the cracks spreading across the glacier. Then, the storm grew dramatically worse. The wind became stronger. The snowfall intensified. Visibility dropped almost completely. It was at that moment that the journalist spotted something strange in the middle of the ice. A metal structure partially buried beneath the snow. It was an abandoned military bunker. The group quickly moved inside. Inside, the place felt frozen in time. Narrow, frozen corridors, dim red lights blinking weakly. With no other options left, the soldiers decided to abandon the bunker and try to escape before the structure froze completely. When they stepped back onto the glacier, they were met with a devastating sight. The black helicopter had been destroyed, Its broken rotor blades were trapped in the ice. Part of the fuselage had been buried beneath the snow. The storm was now almost impossible to survive. Even so, the soldiers slowly began walking through the white darkness. In the distance, an aurora borealis faintly illuminated the frozen sky. The rebels still appeared occasionally through the snow. No one knew who was still alive. No one knew if there was any way out. The journalist kept filming, heavy breathing, shaky footage, failing focus.